We're into 5 and 6. We'll see how he does. Aya has retired from the session. He's P3. He is more than safely through. 10-10 did the same. And I think I just missed that one, unfortunately. I think Jacob's binned off those mediums. He's jumped on a set of softs. So if he can keep this valid, he should be up there. A little bit of bottoming out and bouncing in towards Rint at 9 through 10. Keeps it valid just about on that white line. Keeps it valid up to the line, and it's a 3.4, and there we have it. There we go then. It's just exactly what we expected. We know he shouldn't be down there, and he can definitely improve. Chaz as well, he's up to P5. That should be him safely through. Deflated, he's coming up to the line for his final run. Keeps it valid, kicks up a little bit of the grass up to the line, goes P3 with a 3.7. There's a Ferrari coming round. I believe that's Prev. And it is. He's up on his lap time, and it puts him P13, so that should keep him as safe as he should be. Olazord just crossed the line, P11. I'm not sure if that was an improvement. It does say it's invalid. John as well with another 3.4. So currently, as Patch has just pointed out to me, the qualifying record for NA was a 1 minute 3.635 set by our man in P3, 10-10. I'm not sure what game cycle that was done on, but that is currently a new quality record already. It's end of SQ1. John and Jacob separated by 36 hundredths of a second at the top two. 10-10 just behind them in P3. He'll be wanting to try and get his quality record back in the next few sessions. Deflated P4. Then we got Cod Camper, Willow, Chaz, Aya, that guy, and Steinos just in the top 10 respectively. That's decent for him for his first run. And then we have Olazord, Jakob, Sox, Ethan, Prev, JJ, Chivers, and Velocity rounding off the grid. I feel like I've fully jinxed RB this season. I feel bad, however, it is quite funny. Saying in Canada, be like, no, they'll be definitely underrated 100%. Poor Jakob DNF'd after getting some wing damage and he spun off into the wall. Here in the Styrian Mountains is 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go for the sprint race. John getting an excellent start. He's already pulled clear and ahead of Jacob. We've got Deflated going up the inside and bouncing over the curb. Little bit of contact between him and 10-10 heading through turn 1. We've got a yellow flag at the back for Aya. He's picked up some damage, maybe a little incident spinning off somebody's side pod, but as they head their way into turn 3, they're all trying to keep it nice and tidy. Nobody wanting wing damage in the sprint and sacrificing any points that they can grab. There's got another incident at the back. I think some of the Haas boys have tripped up over each other, and Steinos as well, not getting the clean getaway that he needs. There's now a massive gap from Jakob and P10 and all the way down to Steinos. A little bit of a lock up for Prev as he goes down the inside of Chivers, still alongside with Chivers, banging wheels with Chivers as they head their way through turn 6 towards Graz at turn 7. Chivers just managing to pull ahead and is now going to be saying suck my dirty air through 7. That'll probably be a warning for both of them actually. Towards turn 4 at Rauch, and we'll see how they all manage to fare. Their Sox getting back past Steinos down the inside at turn 4, plants that Haas car right where he needs to. Gives Steinos the room, still alongside, warrants the space, tries to go around the outside, looks for a switchback, but the dirty air is just too much at this track through sector 2. Opportune reaction for everybody else as they all just cluster up from behind. Willow and Cod Camper having a look into turn 4. He's going to try it round the outside of our assist champion from last season. They're both still side by side, but Willow manages to get that move done, pulls ahead, and he's up to P5 for now. We will see if any of this fighting has backed down a little bit. I think Steinos managed to get back past Sox in the end, who's now under pressure from Ethan. And none of these guys are fighting for points right now either. This is just for like a wooden spoon. Again, so it shouldn't be a safety car or a VSC. Our fight at the front, Chaz fancied the dive. Cod gave him the room, but he just couldn't really get the move done in time for the apex, and that is him done and dusted for now. Olazord looking for a little look. Is he going to fancy the dive? Indeed he does. Chaz gives him the room. Little bit of a wheel banging and a half spin. Still side by side. Chaz getting a massive kick of oversteer out of 4 and through 5 and 6. Are they going to keep it side by side through 6 and 7? Olazord late on the brakes, trying to hang it round the outside. They're both still side by side, nearly in the gravel, but eventually Chaz manages to pull clear. They keep it nice and clean, and they both stay as they were. Back to and wait until the last couple of laps, because after that wee battle they've all kind of dropped back a wee bit. 10-10's dropped out nearly. Chaz is nearly out as well. He's up to nearly a second behind. Steinos picks up 3 seconds for his worries. Sox has them now as well. Prev has them as well. Chaz now fully out of that DRS. We'll see if he gets it there, and he doesn't, because we've now got a detection point just above. We'll see if Olazord fancies the move, if he can get it done cleaner this time. Down to the inside at turn 4, gives him the space. He's ahead at the apex. Side pods getting glued together a little bit, little wiggle out of the corner as if to tell him, get off of me, you don't belong right next to my side pod. I think that is JJ's DNF car that is off to the side. I believe he's pulled off on an escape road, and he's got the move done before the hairpin, and he was still behind. Is he going to fancy a dive into 4? And he doesn't. His ERS still looks healthy compared to John Jones in front of him. Liam burning a fair amount just to try and keep with. Willow fancying the move on 10-10, and he gets that done through 6 and 7 as well. 10-10 picking up 3 seconds. It will only drop him to P6 currently, since Olazord and Chaz are having their own wee fight and are just kind of creating a buffer for everybody else behind. We'll go back up to the front, and we've only got 5 laps left of our sprint race. There's a yellow at the back, and Ethan is spun. Might have dipped a wheel into the gravel, but that'll be his sprint race done, dusted, signed, sealed and delivered. Through these DRS zones, he had a little bit of a wiggle coming out of turn 1 there, but it shouldn't be too bad. Does have a lot more ERS, so I think Liam's just burning enough just to stick with in case anything kicks off between our front runners. Should all stay as clean as they like. Olazord getting back past Willow. Olazord getting back past Chaz. Oh, that's a big slide through the turn 3 hairpin. That's not what he'll be wanting. Jacob again just getting dragged out wide by that dirty hair. So he's up to P7. Jakob has to consider it for P8 now. Steinos and Olazord are going side by side as they head into turn 4. We've got Aya and Sox as well having a wee bit of a ding dong, but I think Sox is just sat there behind us now and he will wait. Prev's had another. Oh, we seen that, mister. That was naughty. That'll be a DSQ coming your way, sunshine. But last lap, lap 12 out of 12 for our sprint race here in Spielberg for round 2 of our season 9 season. John leading the way, gets the exit that he needs. He's burning as much of that ERS as he needs to. They managed to keep it all nice and tidy. Yeah, Jacob late on the brakes, goes for the dive. There's contact. He half spins him coming around the corner. Liam's had to go off the track to avoid a collision. Willow's managed to pick up a podium. He's up to P3. He might fancy the dive on Jacob if he fancies it and gets close. Jacob defends the inside. Willow's not having it. He goes down the outside. Liam spun round. He's locked the brakes. Deflated we is round from P3 on through turn 1. He's down to P6. He managed to keep it going again, and he was lucky enough that there was a big enough gap behind. He's managed to keep it going again, so he might not even get P5 because of 10-10's penalties. He's sitting P6 as it stands. Willow fancied the dive on Jacob, couldn't get the move done, but John has fought off everything that he has to, he's mastered it properly. He takes 10 points and P1 in our sprint race this evening. Willow just behind him in P3, Cod Camper P4, Deflated P5, 10-10 P6. He must have picked up another 10 seconds at some point in the race. Jakob P7 managed to beat Chaz to the line for that 4 points paying position. Chaz P8, that guy couldn't capitalise with their pens, he finishes P9. Aya takes our last points paying position of the sprint. And take a drink. And breathe. Definitely bring back, so just got a big pint of water just next to you, it's brilliant. But it does say it's only points for the top 8, but ours is different, so that'll all move down and sort themselves. But John taking P1 for the sprint. Jacob just behind him in P2 after going for that move on the last lap. Couldn't get it done. Willow picking up the pieces, he gets P3. Cod P4, Wee P5, 1010 P6. Jakob P7, Chaz P8, that guy P9, and Aya in P10. With Steinos, Olazord, Sox, and Velocity all just finishing out of that top 10. One to the line, he might have a little bit of traffic to contend with as he comes through 8 and in towards 9. That guy has retired in the pit, so he won't go any higher than P7, but Cod through Rint at 9, through turn 10 at the final corner, right on the track limits as much as you want to take, to the line. It's a 3.8, he can't dethrone Jacob from the top spot, but he does jump ahead of the people he's fighting in the championship. I believe it's Velocity to the line now, did improve by a tenth and a half, he's on a 5.4. Steinos just done his lap there, he's up to a 4.3, so there definitely is pace. There's 100% pace in these cars. Liam's on a this and next, so that's him done and away. John with a 3.5, and then Jacob with a 3.2. I'm just not getting the alerts coming up for fastest laps coming in. I think it's because telemetry's off and they don't pop up, which is a shame. But Jacob putting a stake to the claim, a claim to the stake. Either way, our title leader, P1 currently. John is on a lap. Willow managing to bump ahead of John for now in P2. Cod has backed out, so he won't go higher than P4. Deflated did invalidate, which I'm sure he will be thrilled by. I think he's just impeded Steinos a wee bit there as well, which is a shame. I think Steinos was on a lap. Deflated has invalidated, but we're right on board with our title leader. We'll see what he does, and he's called it quits. So he won't go any further either, so that is our grid. 3.2 ref. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, it's mental. Like, the pace of these top runners is insane. They're 5.2. So yeah, I agree with you on that one. But there we have it. For our feature race, it is Jacob on pole. Again, I think John must have had a moment on his lap and he backed out of it. Willow P2, that would be good for what he needs. It'll be those two leading the way on the formation lap and into turn 1. John P3, he'll be hoping to do better than that. Cod Camper P4, deflated and validated at his final lap. Chaz, Jakob, Olazord, that guy, and I are round out your top 10, and then it is Steinos, Sox, Velocity, Prev. Ethan was away having his dino nuggies, and I don't think Chivers could get a lap in the end, unfortunately. Cannot complain. Wonderful track, wonderful country, wonderful people, I would know. But, as we head up to our guys at the front, it is 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go for our feature race. Jacob not getting the best start that he would have wanted. Willow just having to slot in behind them. Fall just now. They're 3 wide in the midfield heading into turn 1, but it's your top 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 have all stayed the same as they battle their way down through turn 2 at that little kink just before the hairpin. John having a wee look at Willow if he fancied it. Cod Camper and Deflated Wee going side by side. Little bit of a bump coming off. There's even further bump going on at the back as Olazord gets up past Jakob into P7. So the McLaren driver making the most of his mediums off that start. We've got Steinos up the back as well. They are indeed 3 wide. Steinos is now fancying a move on his fellow countryman of Jakob. Pushes him a little bit wide onto the gravel, but I think he'll get away with that. I didn't see too much malice in it, and he should get away scot-free. I think they've all managed to survive the first couple of corners. It was just a wee bit clumsy from everyone, but they have all managed to survive. I think Ethan and JJ are in AI, so I think they'll be on their way back. 1010 is up to 13th already. He's made up 5 places on that opening lap. But as we finish the opening lap, it is Jacob leading the way on that yellow walled medium tyre. Willow and P2 just behind them. John and Deflated and Cod all just hanging with as well. Chaz and Olazord and Steinos just behind them as they all make their way into turn 3 for the second time And English, but is that all I need to do? Anyway, back to the main action. John looking to move round the outside at turn 2. He's been boxed in a little bit by Jacob, helping his mate out with Willow, just to try and keep him behind for as long as he can. He's going to look to the outside at turn 3 if he can get the power there and get a massive big bash of wheel spin. Coming out a 3, though, heading down the DRS straight into Rauch at turn 4. Willow fancies the move on Jacob, gets the move done. That's a horrific camera angle, it's not the one I wanted. But they're both going side by side through turn 4. Willow just pulling ahead. I think Jacob's realised it's not his fight currently as he switches the ERS mode to none, and that wee red light at the back of the car just flashing away to show he's not fully fighting for that position. But the dirty air now is just going to pull him all the way out wide, and with that tyre offset, it's not where he'd have wanted to be at this point in the race. But as they come over that blind crest into Jochenrindt at 9 and into 10 for the last corner, we do have a new race leader in Willow as he crosses the line to start lap 4. That's a lovely camera angle. Just say Iron Brew and Haggis. No. Nuh-uh. Back to the front. Jacob now fancying the move on Willow, going round the outside. John's involved as well. He's looked to the inside. There were 3 wide heading into turn 3. John late on the brakes, gives Willow the space that he needs. Willow looking for the switchback on his old title rival. Jacob pulls to the right to give him some DRS assistance and a wee bit of slipstream just to get the move done. They're going to close right up to the back of that Aston Martin. Willow on the inside, John on the outside. They give each other room. Little bit of a tap and John's in the gravel. Deflated, gets up and through. He's up into P3. I fell off my armchair. As best they can, but once again, our race lead swaps. Willow now takes the lead. Jacob going as late as he deals on the brakes, runs a little bit wide. It might be deflated in if he can get close enough. Can't quite get it done on the Aston Martin, but he's not close enough. We'll go on board with Steinos as he fancy a dive on Olazord. Has a look. Ollie gives him the room in the McLaren, but he gives him too much room. Runs off the track, and just the sheer presence of that bright green kick machine was enough to get that move done. He's up to P7 behind Chaz. 7. Jacob did pick up a penalty there coming out of the last corner, didn't get the run that he needed. Deflated, already having a look, and he's deciding he's not wanting to sit behind his teammate for any longer. I can't see Jacob fighting this one too much. Gets the move done before they are even into the braking zone of the corner. He goes defensive to maybe have another little bit of a look back at his teammate. Deflated, just about getting the run that he needs, but he will still have the DRS because he's got Willow in front. He pulls to the left to give John the slipstream to try and get back past Jacob. He's on the inside, John on the outside. Big lock up from Jacob. There's contact between the two Aston Martins. It's just silly fighting it, boys. These are both on the same team. Play the team game. It's all you have to do. Jacob getting caught up in the dirt here has John on his inside, fancying a little look and sat there in his inside pocket going, yoo-hoo, I'm still there. Zumped by everyone around them. Chaz with a little bit of a lock up through Rauch at 4 as well. I think 10-10 just managing to get past Steinos as well. And he's up to P8 from P18 on the grid. He's done 10 places in 8 laps. Fair enough. Yeah, no, we stand and applaud. We stand and applaud. We don't stand and applaud, however, because Steinos has just had an absolute massive tank slacker coming off the curb. It's 7 and 8 at Graz. Lost a place to Jakob. It might invite that guy into the fight if he can get anywhere near an IIRL just behind them as well. But we'll jump back up to our fight at the front. It's still currently a 6-way fight. Jacob has got a pen. I did notice a few laps ago. I think Chaz picked up a few as well. Deflated, having a little look on the inside of Willow through turn 3. Can't get the move done just yet, but he's got a very angry Mercedes sat behind him. Don't think he will fancy the move just yet. Very late on the brakes. Wee bit of a lock up from one of the cars in front as well. 10-10 gets the move done on Olazord before the braking zone at Rauch, so that was him up to P7. He'll be hoping to chase down that 3-second gap at the back to this fight at the front. John, it's just that dirty air washes you out so much through those corners. It's unbelievable. But we'll jump back to the front. It's Deflated now. Has realised Willow lets him through. Redetection point, just that little line there. He's locked the rears and he's ran wide. He's opened the door up. Willow manages to fly back through. He's not going to have the DRS because he was ahead at the detection point. So Willow once again has him on absolute skates and he flies back through. Takes P1 back once again, and it's back to as you were. And get back past Willow and keep the lead, but John, possibly growing tired of sat watching this for ages, he's already through and ahead. Willow try to play the DRS games, it's not going to work because John's going to fly past him on the inside. He's going to try the under and over, it's his signature move at this corner. He will sit behind. They will both get DRS on deflated ahead. We'll see if they push. John using overtake out of the corner and not any more than that. And we now do have a new race leader. And the gap that Chaz has managed to pull about a second, nearly 2 seconds, to Cod behind, but with that tyre advantage, he probably will manage to gain that back up, no bother. 10-10 just behind them as well, with the Olazon keeping him company a wee bit further behind. So we'll see if any of our leaders blink and dive into the pits. Willow pulling to the right, he's coming in. Liam pulling to the right, he's coming in. John pulling to the right, they're all coming in. So we'll see if Jakob follows suit or if there's any shenanigans that happen pit lane wise. No speeding pens for any of them, they'll manage to stop that in time. Jakob does box, as does that guy. So Jacob will take the provisional lead of the race with a 3-lap deficit to the guys ahead of him. Willow's gone hards, Deflated and John have gone mediums. And he has managed to come out a fair amount ahead, as has Chaz, who's now right in this fight. We'll see if he fancies the move on John, but he won't have the DRS, he'll have enough slipstream to get it done. He looks to the inside, I think John will give him the room if he fancies. Has to bounce over that curb on the inside, Deflated pushing him through the corners. Right up through, he's not wanting to get stuck behind, he's pushing him as far left as he can to just keep that position as best as he can. Can't get it done. He drops down to P4, but that is a scare and a half for our leaders. I think John got DRS, he did not, but he's definitely within it now, so he'll get it for the run into turn 4 if he fancies it. Willow gets the move done on Chaz before the breaking point in turn 3, so that'll be him on a charge and trying to get back to the P3 that he was in. John already going for the move into Ralk at turn 4, dives to the inside. If he can get that move done and completed nice and cleanly, he does so. They're both still side by side as they head up towards turn 5, 6 and 7. They're both still side by side, bumping wheels as they go. Jacob not wanting to give up any of his space, but he's went ghosted. He's went into AI to pause to clip the incident, and he's now dropped back. What's happened there? He's had like a screen freeze moment. He's dropped down to P7. John takes the lead. It's Deflated behind. After that much fighting, it's brought Willow right into the fight behind them as well. Chaz is just about hanging on behind as well. We've got more swapping in places further down the field, but I think that's because I is coming into the pits and it's not anything major. Will Deflated fancy a shot into the hairpin, or is he going to play the mind games and get the detection point? We'll see what he's able to do. Willow behind him as well, just maybe having a wee look. I'm not sure what happened there, to be honest. It looked like he paused to clip the incident and then just fell back. Just to the side. We've had a spin on. It's Jacob, our championship leader. He's had a spin coming out of turn 3. And the man that started on pole is now down in P11 and with wing damage on both sides. Still not sure if Ethan and JJ are back in yet. I don't think they are. But we'll go on board with Chivers and Velocity round the outside at turn 3. That's a very good move from the man in the hash. But there's another man in a hash trying to make up some extra points, paying positions, getting a wee bit close to that Ferrari. Prev dives it back up the inside, little bit of contact, shaves the front of that Ferrari front wing, or the hash front wing I should say, as they head through 6 and 7 at Graz. Can't quite get that move done, and he'll have to sit there and bide his time. That's when they box. Jakob having a little look at that guy into Rauch, can't quite get there in the end. We'll see if Sox fancies the move on Prev. He's burning a lot of battery to get alongside. He's going to dummy left, dummy left. Oh, that's a late move indeed. And he's got wing damage. from that. He's missing that left-hand side. Left-hand side, hang on. Right-hand side end plate. From that front wing, and with the dirty air and wing damage combined, it's not going to do him any good, so that'll be one for the stewards to the side. Afterwards, Deflated again, getting awful close to the back of John John. He's going to fancy the move into turn 3. There's a Williams off at turn 1, and Chaz has had an incident in his spun off the curb at turn 1. No safety car or VSC. He's managed to get it going again. He's going to have that guy right up his bum if he doesn't fancy it. A little bit of a tap from John John on Deflated into Ralph. Willow was looking for the move, and he does the up and under on John John. Gets the move done. He's up to P2. John John doesn't fight it as the medium tiles are just starting to go off as they get dragged out wide from the dirty air. Once again, but we'll jump back up to the front as John John looks for the move on Willow. He's got Deflated in front of him, boxed him in a wee bit, goes as late as he dares on the brakes. Willow goes even later, locks up, dives to the inside. Liam gives him the room round the outside. They'll both still have DRS, and they were both behind Liam as they headed into the detection point. Willow keeping that room on the outside as Deflated, trying to give him as much of a slipstream as he can, but he can't quite get alongside. It looked pretty dead set for him. Deflated angling to the right, he'll be in this lap, maybe not. It's a dummy pit entry. John John goes for it, so he'll get the undercut. Runs a little bit wide going into the pit lane, picks up some dirt, and that might stop his nice clean entry that he wanted. Cod Camper is also into the pit, so we'll see if there's another wee change for the lead up front. There definitely should be, or definitely maybe if you're a Padge fan, if you're an Oasis fan like Padge. There we go, that's the word I was trying to do. Breaking at the 100 metre border just after. I think Willow's going to try and get this move done just into Ralph, so Liam to get all that dirty air that he struggles with. He's not sat in anything. Steinos is retired in the pits. He dummies left and dummies right, and Willow gets the move done round the outside. And John coming back out on the mediums as he gets past that guy into Ralph as well at turn 4. Gets that move done nice and early, but trying to get Jakob as soon as he can. Is he going to fancy a dive already? He is indeed. He's not wasting any time. Flies his way through the traffic that he has to. Will sit on board with Liam into the pits. No speeding penalty for him. 10-10 follows him in. I think all Azords should be in this lap as well. Maybe, maybe not. Keeps going. 14 lap old hards. They might be in sooner rather than later. Liam comes back out on a set of mediums. John John is already on that main straight. Willow is off and away, and we'll see what tyres he comes back out on for his final stint. But John John well and truly clear of Deflated Wee behind, who might come under a wee bit of threat from that guy, but he'll be boxing. And we can see Deflated Wee just there in the background, but he is going to come out behind them, so he's going to have work to do. And you're off side by side with the Aston Martin as they come out of the pit lane just behind them. And your front three, John John doing the undercut to try and escape all the nonsense and shenanigans that he was going on that he wasn't happy with, is now up to P1, doesn't have a penalty, with no warnings. Deflated behind with that 3-second penalty that will only drop him to P3 currently. Willow with a few warnings to his name, but no penalty just yet. Looking 2 warnings for Willow, none for John John. It's the life on the edge for Willow for these last 3 laps. 10-10's got the move done past Cod Camper. He might want to try and bridge out as big a gap as he can. Runs a little bit wide into the hairpin. Won't hassle him too much, but Willow hassling Deflated into Ralk down the inside. Gets the move done. He's up to P3. He's charging after John John. He's not wanting to sit behind for any longer than he has to. That guy in Socks, side by side down the hill through turn 3, gets that move done, but Socks will get the DRS. So that wee detection line is now there, but that guy is on softs, so he should and probably will pull away from that fight. Jakob fancying a wee look at Olazord if he can get close enough to him. That gap for your top 3, just hovering at about 1.5, 1.7ish. Resigned defeat for now. We'll see if he fancies pushing on into John John's DRS. I don't think he got down the straight from Ghost Cars either. He'll be lucky to get it off Ethan ahead of him as well if he fancies it. See if Jacob fancies the move on Olazord further behind. 10-10 and Cod Camper have swapped about. I didn't think the gap was close enough for that. I do apologise, I must have just skimmed over it. But Cod Camper now wanting to get the place on track and not behind. He takes P4 from 1010, who probably will stay there as things stand, with everybody else having pens behind them. Deflated just about behind, or in that magical DRS that he needs. Did get it off of the lapped cars ahead of him, but as we head on to the final lap of the race, I don't think Willow's going to be close enough or have enough battery left to get the move done. But Liam's ran wide at turn 1. Don't think he got a penalty for it. Should get away with it. We'll see if Willow fancies the dive, if he just plays it smart and sits behind. Liam's ran awfully deep into the hairpin. Couldn't quite get the move done. We'll see if 1010 fancies the dive on Cod Camper, or if he'll do it at turn 4 like last time. Gets a very good traction over and under. Wee bit of bumping. Gets the move done. He's up past into P4, but will drop to P5 at the end. Willow couldn't quite get the move done, but he will also bump up to P2 after those pens have been applied. We've got Jacob and Olizard going side by side as they make their way down that second DRS straight and into Los Ralph at 4. Can't get the move done, and Olizard has to consolidate for P7 at the moment. But our man from over the Atlantic has done what he had to do, takes P1 right at the end. Willow rages the car into the pit wall, takes P3 on track, but it will jump up to P2 after deflated penalties. 1010 takes P4, but will drop to P5 after his pens as well. Jakob, a redemption from last week, no DNF. He will finish P6 and stay there. Just misses out on 1010, 22 thousandths. Wow. Just misses out on him. Aya takes P7, Olizard drops down. I think he had about 9 seconds of pens in the end, unfortunately for him. Socks, once again, in the top 10. Same as last week. I think it's the same place he finished last week, actually. It was P8 last week, I do apologise. Still in the points, in the top 10. It's what he would have wanted. That guy takes P10, just behind him as well. Chivers just manages to hold off Prev in the end, just about. Doesn't have any pens either, which is very good for him. Takes P11 for the Haas team, P12 for Prev and Velocity Racer, rounding us off in P13, and Ethan and JJ were non-runners. And there we have it. There's all your accolades for those that care. The driver of the day, I agree with 100%. I'm not gonna go anything off of that. But final race, John from P3 finishes P1 on the grid with a superb undercut. Pardon me, right at the end of the race. And the final stint to pull away from the guys in front of him. Willow P2, unlucky to lose out. Again, back-to-back P2s. Hopefully he can improve that next week and take P1. Deflated P3 from P5 and invalidated some laps in his quali. It's a decent result for our man in the Aston Martin. Cod Camper P4, 1010 and P18 to P5 is a round of applause. Jakob P6, very good result for him for a turnaround from last week. Aya P7, Olizard P8, very good on his debut. Socks P9, that guy P10, Chivers P11, Prev P12, Velocity P13, and JJ and Ethan were not present. That has been us. Already done and dusted before 9:30. It's quicker and quicker every week.